The Voice from the Stairs. This is a true story. I was around 11 years old when this happened. Back then, my sister and I shared a room. She's 1 year younger, so she was 10 when this happened. One summer morning, I woke up to my sister sitting up in her bed, staring at me. I asked her, "What's wrong with you?" She replied, "I heard a voice last night from the stairs." I asked, "What are you talking about? What voice?" She told me she heard a male voice whisper her name loudly, "Corinne." I said, "No way, liar, you're just a weirdo." We had breakfast with my parents shortly after. I took this opportunity to tell my parents about what my sister had told me and made fun of her for it. Everyone chuckled, except for my sister, of course. A few nights later, I stayed up later than usual, watching an X-Men movie. I noticed my sister had already fallen asleep. I got out of bed to turn off the TV and went back to bed and got comfy, ready to drift to sleep. However, a few minutes later, I was startled out of my semi-sleep state. Unsure of what woke me up, I remained in bed, listening intently for anything out of the ordinary. A few seconds later, I heard a horrifying sound, a loud, distinct whisper saying, "Karen." I was frozen in fear, unable to move or yell for my parents in the next room. I laid in bed for what felt like an eternity, but was most likely 2 or 3 hours. Every few minutes, the damn voice whispered my sister's name, seemingly becoming more and more impatient for her to come to the stairs, or at least the hallway. I told myself it has to be my cousin who lived in the garage. He was in his early 20s and was always a joker. However, around 2:30 a.m., I heard a car approach my house playing loud rock music. I heard several drunken voices and then keys jangling. A few seconds later, my cousin opened the front door, and I could hear him walk into the kitchen, open the cupboard, and pour himself a glass of water. I then heard him open the garage door and then silence. I didn't hear the voice after that, but I didn't sleep a wink. My sister woke up and asked me, "Why are you awake so early?" I replied, "I never went to sleep." I immediately informed her that I heard the voice. She asked me to describe it, and when I imitated the voice out loud, she looked terrified, like it suddenly became real, and not just her imagination or a bad dream. I remember feeling horrible for making fun of her, and never doubted her anytime she told me she saw or heard something weird in that house. Neither of us ever heard the voice again. But that certainly wasn't the last unexplainable thing that happened in that house.